Huntech Pro is proudly brought to you by Treezyn, Magnum Archery, Orphan Weapons, Wild Dog 4x4 Accessories, Auberhalzer Taxidermy, Ultimo Group, and Gun Rats.
And we're on our way to O.R. Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. The time has come for us to head on over to the United States to do some hunting over there. So awesome that Huntech gets to go abroad. Beulah, it is an unbelievable chance that we have been given by Mr. Mike Austin from Treezyn.
Yeah, I cannot explain the excitement we have, and to be given this opportunity, we are so grateful to God and to Mike and Suzanne Austin. And thank you, No Scent and Treezyn, for giving us this amazing opportunity. It's going to be really awesome.
Hey guys, we can't wait to share these episodes with you. Thank you for watching our episodes. We really appreciate it. So we're on our way to Seppi at Magnum Archery. He set up a bow for me to take with on this trip. So let's go check how that bow looks. So this is the all-new PSE 375 Magnum here at Magnum Archery. This is the bow that I'll be taking with, so I'm just gonna shoot a few arrows, make sure I'm hitting the target. But I've really shot a few arrows and the draw strike was real smooth, and they said at 72 pounds to me that's more than enough I'm gonna need to shoot the deer with. But yeah, let's see. Take a few shots and see how she does. That's real smooth. Really can't wait to get the chance to shoot with this. So we're at the airport and we're waiting to board the plane. The excitement is running real high here. Beulah, you ready for this? I've got new respect for you guys coming over here all the time, so this waiting has got me going crazy. I just want to get over there, so hopefully soon we can get on the airplane and see you guys in a bit. Our 16-hour flight, so we're here at Atlanta in the United States. So very soon we're going to meet up with Mike and the team, and we can kick off this adventure. See you guys soon. So Mike, we are finally here, brother. I can't believe that the opportunity that you presented us has finally come up. So, I think it was last year October or something we started planning this trip.
Right.
And now the time has come. We are here.
You're here.
In your Super Duty truck.
Only a short 16-hour flight for you. Yeah, we're excited that you're here. You and Beulah, of course, behind the camera. Got some great hunting opportunities for you, and some cool extra surprises that you don't know about yet that I think you'll really enjoy.
Just thanks again for giving us this opportunity. You know, for Beulah and myself, it's been a massive dream to bring Huntech abroad and to share your guys' hunting experiences with everybody. So just thank you again for giving us this awesome opportunity.
Well, it really is our pleasure.
Ja, okay, so you can put on third mic.
So I'll show you the proper way to eat biscuits and gravy. So obviously biscuits and gravy. Just take one like this, and then take your fork, right? perforate it and then open it up like that, right? And then take your gravy, put however much you want on it, like that. And then if you want some salt, put some salt on it, and then a little bit of pepper, that. And then with your fork, like an American, not this way, but you can just, cut it up. You can use your knife too, if you want. See how that goes on the top there? That's good stuff.
The American way, eh?
So now I'm gonna do this the opera contest. So I'm gonna take my knife and my fork upside down. I'm gonna jam this thing on here. I don't know how you do this. This is crazy. Still very good.
Let's try it.
or if you're like Johan, this is how Johan eats, right? No, this is how Johan eats. This is Johan eating. Just stab the whole thing.
Yeah, but you're holding your fork on. We have like a little finesse while holding the fork, and Johan is like this. He's like a Viking. Yeah.
Well, it's a plan that has been set in motion since last year, and finally we are here in the United States. Mike and Suzanne Austin has invited me and Beulah to come hunt and experience the American culture. So I hear the guys say you can't be collected from the airport here in the States without going to Bass Pro. So just check the size of this place, guys. Yo, here you are. That's a big shot.
Johan and Beulah was in awe from the moment they set foot on US soil, and it was a lot for them both to take in when they saw a Bass Pro shop for the first time. They always heard stories about how incredible the place is, but now they got to experience it for themselves. While in Georgia, Huntech stayed at Mike and Suzanne Austin's, where they were welcomed with warm hearts and felt right at home. Huntech Pro is proudly sponsored by Trigger Cap, No Scent, Caliber Rifles, Bullets and Innovations, Low Tech Energy, Grizzly Gear, SSG Cases, Natshoot, CRC Clothing and Branding, and Vantage Point Archery. Huntech Pro's proud media partners are Game and Hunt Magazine and Arms and Wildlife.
So far, our trip here to the US has been really amazing. We've been to some beautiful places, did some really exciting activities, and experienced almost everything American in the food department. We didn't waste any time, and the first evening here to the States, we went to one of the tower stands on Mike's property to do some hog hunting with the AR and thermal.
Hogs like to get into this water right here and wallow in it. And you can see down here, if you look, this is a big hog print right here. It's got rounded on the ends, not pointed like a deer. A deer would have pointed, sharp pointed tips. Hogs have rounded ends on their hooves. Plus he's got big dew claws. That is a big hog. I mean, from here to here, I mean, that hog, that's his footprint. That is a massive hog. That's the hog we're looking for. This is the Hogzilla that we're looking for right here.
Mike, first of all, I want to say extremely a big thank you for inviting us and having us over in your country. It's an amazing experience this far, and we are truly blessed to be here. And I know the most American thing to do is hunt whitetail, so I'm looking forward to it. But you've also mentioned you've got a hog problem, pig problem.
We do have a problem with wild or feral hogs, and it's quite a problem in most states, especially in Georgia here, because these hogs, they're not native species to this area. One of the reasons why they're such a problem is because they do reproduce so quickly.
Yeah.
For our viewers here, a wild hog, a sow, the female, can reproduce 3 times a year, 3 litters a year.
Oh, goodness.
And the litters can be anywhere from 10 to 13 piglets.
Wow.
Okay? So you can do the math on that, and you see how it adds up.
And how does it impact the environment?
Right. So a couple ways. One, the pig, the wild pig, the hog, will eat 7 times what a deer will eat.
Yeah.
And they eat the same protein. So if you, the deer are natural here, they're in native species, and they need certain food sources to survive, otherwise they starve. So they need protein from acorns, from the trees. They also need protein from the plants.
Yeah.
When they have to compete with hogs, one hog will eat 7 times the amount of one deer. Each acre of land will only hold up to 5 deer. So one hog on an acre will eat all the food that those 5 deer would have eaten. And there's not just one hog.
The pigs. So Kool-Aid, vitamin C, good for the pigs. We take care of them. That's enough fragrance for them to smell it. They're on it.
Okay.
Yeah. The other way is that hogs are opportunistic carnivores. They eat everything that's in front of them. Doesn't matter what it is. Plants, protein, like other animals. And they're very tenacious and they're very ferocious animals. So they hurt the ecosystem that way. They hurt the agricultural system because a sounder, that's a group of pigs, that can be 25 to 30 in a sounder. And they can move through a field of like beans or corn or anything the farmer is growing, just mow it down. Wheat, they'll mow it down in one night.
Wow.
They'll decimate a field. If you're fortunate enough to shoot a big boar, that's a big deal because they get big and old because they're very smart.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal to shoot a small pig.
Yeah.
I mean, you usually can shoot those. You'll see them, and they'll give you shot opportunities that the big boar won't give you. And they always travel alone, the big boar. I mean, he's never with anybody else. The other pigs, they are in a group, in a sounder, and where they go, they all go together. So you do have easier shot opportunities on them. But that boar, if you can take out a boar, you've done something special.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, right? Right? I mean,
a deer's nose is 1,000 times more powerful than the human nose. That means he will smell you way before you ever see him. No Scent is a 3-phase scent elimination system that destroys 100% of human odor. Our revolutionary enzyme formula works by fully encapsulating and by attacking and eliminating human odor particles. Our No Scent laundry pods, hair and body wash, and field spray will take 100% of the stink out of you. No Scent. Hunt undetected.
Magnum Archery, your partner in tournaments, hunting, and anything to do with a bow and arrow. We offer a bespoke string building experience and can service any brand of bow there. We are here to supply you with all your archery needs and keep you up to date with the latest technologies and trends. Bow hunting and target archery. This is our game.
Oberholzer Taxidermy strives to portray your hunting trophies in as realistic a state as possible. We give you a trophy that you aren't simply proud of or would like to add to your collection, but also your very own prized piece of Africa along with fond memories of our land. Hunting is an incredibly rewarding sport. Complement your prize with professional taxidermy services at Oberholzer Taxidermy.
He's coming. Yeah, I see him now. It's a real good bag. Do you see him now? Yeah. Do you see him now? Yeah. Can you get the gun on him? Or did you want to wait till he comes right in front? He's going to walk right in front.
That boar was on a mission. I mean, he was walking straight in our direction from the far end of the field without stopping. At first, Mike thought he was going to cut back into the woods as he disappeared behind the hill. But then he popped back out and he walked straight in front of me where I had a clear shooting lane. I knew that pig wasn't planning on stopping, and if I waited too long, I'm going to miss the opportunity. So I lined up the sight shoulder height and aimed just a little bit forward from where you would have aimed if you would have been standing still.
Got him. He's down.
That was awesome.
Look at that. I pulled first blood in America. I didn't turn on that game.
I squeezed the trigger and the bullet hit the pig in the neck, resulting in him dropping in his tracks.
It's unsafe. I don't see him breathing. Poke him. He's gone. What's up? Big horseflies. That's the pig. That's the hog silk. I think so. I mean, that is a big freaking pig. That's a big pig. Well done. Yeah.
On closer inspection, we found that the pig had a huge gash behind his ear, where another pig must have injured him during a fight. And that's maybe the reason why he was rushing down the hill towards the woods on the opposite side.
So after Beulah shot a hog, we made our way over to Kentucky. Kentucky opens their deer hunting season for bow hunting earlier than the other states, so our chance to get a buck in velvet will be bigger. Mike told me that to shoot a buck during velvet is very sought after for the hunters back here.
On their way to Kentucky, Mike decided to take the backcountry roads, so that Johan and Beulah can see how beautiful each of the 5 states that they drove through are. They started in Georgia and drove north through South Carolina, North Carolina, then Tennessee, and then all the way to central Kentucky.
Mike wanted to show us all the beautiful scenery on our way to Kentucky. We drove through 5 states on our way going there. But driving through the old Smoky Mountains in Tennessee was my favorite part.
So this is another American traditional eating place, like Mike explained to us. This is a Waffle House. So Mike, tell us about the Waffle House.
Oh, Waffle House, some great American tradition. We're gonna get some super American food here, mostly breakfast, but great coffee for Beulah. You're gonna enjoy this.
We arrived at 10 p.m. in Falmouth. So when we offloaded the truck, I was quite surprised to see where we're gonna stay. It is an Airbnb, but this used to be an old bank. So this was something unique where we stayed.
Falmouth is a home rule class city in Pendleton County, Kentucky, in the United States. Something that was especially remarkable about Falmouth is how the town and local services honors those veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice. Main streets are lined with banners honoring current veterans and memorialize veterans who have passed. Johan and Beulah, together with Mike, stayed in a one-of-a-kind hostel nestled in the historic district. It is located above a privately owned bank, which was constructed in 1923. The hostel features 8 private rooms, 2 shared bathrooms and 1 common area.
The following morning, Brad and Joe took me to do some squirrel hunting. I never knew how difficult that can be.
That's what the squirrels are eating. Hickory nuts. Oh. See right here on the ground. One's been sitting here eating them. Oh, that's cool. Baseball bat trees. That's what they make baseball bats out of. Yeah.
Okay. What do you say? Hickory?
Real, it's a hardwood.
Hardwood.
Mm-hmm. Chipmunks. There goes the ground squirrel. Alvin.
Alvin and the chipmunk. Where's the rest of his friends?
They come out here. This is how you learn to hunt when you're a kid, squirrel hunting.
Okay.
Teaches you to be quiet, sneak up on stuff.
Okay. It's really interesting, like you said, if you mimic the sound of you, they'll make like the eating.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones
it makes the other ones come out, yeah.
Like what you're eating.
Yep. they'll eat an acorn bark because it's easier for them to get into than a hickory nut. They eat them all summer.
Okay. How many nuts would you say will they need to consume in one day?
As many as they can eat. They'll get full, and they'll get them and get their mouth full of nuts, and then take it to their nest.
Oh, okay.
Because their cheeks will blow out.
Yeah.
You've probably seen pictures of where their cheeks are blowed out. They'll fill it, their mouth full of nuts, and won't eat it. Take it to their nest and spit them out in their nest.
Oh. And the nest, is it like these holes in the tree?
No, they'll build them. We'll probably see one that's they get sticks and stuff, and it looks like a hornet's nest, but you know what a hornet's nest is, a big gray round thing, but it's just sticks and stuff, and it'll be about this big.
Wow.
It'll be up in the top of the tree, like they'll build it in it, like, see that split?
Yeah.
They'll build it in a place like that.
Okay.
This one here?
Ja, my lief, hierso.
They're headed for that dead tree right there. That's where they live. See those holes? Yeah. They'll get up in there and hide.
There's lots of leaves, but I saw movement and he just shot it.
That's all you can do when there's all these leaves like that.
So I think this morning we just came out a little bit too late, hey Joe?
A little bit late. Yep.
So Brad, what time tomorrow morning do you think we should give it a try?
Right, first light.
First light?
Yeah.
So like you explained to me, they eat in the morning, fill up their tummy, and then they go to sleep for the rest of the day?
Yeah, when it gets hot in the day, they just don't move very much. In the summertime, they eat a couple hours in the morning when the sun comes up, and then a couple hours at night before they go to bed.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll be moving the one blind this today.
Correct.
Found some good buck in a different area, and then let's see what the bucks might do tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll give the squirrel hunting another go.
Yeah.
At Orphan Weapons, we have a dedicated team of professionals that are extremely passionate about firearms. We specialize in custom rifle building, accurizing, customization, repair and general sales of firearms and their related accessories. Each firearm receives our signature attention to detail, met with unique insight gathered through more than 50 years' experience as gunsmiths. We look forward to assist you in your firearm needs.
Get any and all of your Wild Dog 4x4 products today. Visit www.wilddog.co.za and become part of the pack.
After our squirrel hunt, we headed back and got ready for our first afternoon session. Mike parked a long ways away and we had to walk through a big alfalfa field where the pop-up blind was set up.
This is going to be our first session sitting for the Whitetail here in Kentucky. I can't describe the excitement I'm feeling. So hopefully tonight we'll get lucky. It's just an awesome experience to be here, guys. But I have to get off the camera now. We've got to get into the blind soon, so let's see what's going to happen tonight.
It was so awesome to see different species up close. I got to see my first squirrel and some birds as well. So to hear the different insects and bird sounds is something you have to experience yourself to know what I'm talking about. Something spooked her doe, and after she blew, we didn't see any deer that night. Hunting this early in the season was definitely something I had to get used to. The high humidity and the hot temperatures was definitely getting the better of me. We went over to where we repositioned the blind that night, and we're excited to see what the big alfalfa fields would produce.
So we're moving the blind today. Yesterday y'all hunted on a hayfield, I don't know, about 5 miles up the road from here, but my buddy sat down here last night and watched these fields, and there's several good bucks using it. We got about 20 acres of alfalfa right here behind the camera, and on the other side we've got about 50 acres of soybeans.
Okay.
And this fence row in between, the deer are using this fence row to travel in between these fields. So we're gonna put the blind right here. It's kind of on a point that comes out, sticking out into this alfalfa field a little bit. Should be a pretty good spot.
And then will you put out like the type of bait or anything?
Yeah, we're gonna put out some apple bomb, they call it, right here in front of us, and just as a scent attractant to try to pull them in a little closer for bow range.
Like I could understand that you got to explain about the corn. The corn is like a candy for the whitetail.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like a special treat for them, basically. I mean, they don't need food down here because there's hundreds of acres of soybeans and alfalfa. They don't need the corn, but they like to eat it. So we're just giving them something to try to pull them in close enough to the blind. This is the point of the corn.
Hopefully we can get lucky.
Yeah, hopefully.
Flip it over. Don't let it pull it. Don't let it push against it. Straight in. On the corner.
I was very excited to see bucks for the first time, but I had to wait patiently for them to get closer because they were still a long ways away. We did put out some cherry bomb for them, and according to Brad, this is something they can't resist. But the sun was setting quickly and we had to shoot them before the light would run out. But I waited patiently to see if something would get closer. A few minutes later, 2 does were on the cherry bomb. But just a few minutes later, we ran out of shooting light and we had to pack up that evening. The following morning, we got to experience something really special. The Ark Encounter in Williamstown in Kentucky.
Thank you, sir.
The Ark Encounter features a full-size Noah's Ark, built according to the dimensions in the Bible. Spanning 510 feet long, 85 feet wide, and 51 feet high, this modern engineering marvel amazes visitors young and old.
Hi, I'm Tim Chafee. I'm the content manager here at the Ark Encounter and also at our sister attraction, the Creation Museum. You can see the Ark right behind me. That is a reconstruction or a sort of a replica of Noah's Ark from the Bible, and it is built on the same dimensions as what the Bible gives us, so 300 cubits by 50 cubits by 30 cubits. If you're not familiar with a cubit, it's this measurement from your elbow to the tip of your longest finger, but of course people have different length cubits. We used a 20.4-inch cubit. That gives us an ark that is 510 feet long and 85 feet wide and 51 feet tall, which is a 1.88 million cubic feet. So it's pretty large. People always wonder how could Noah have fit all the animals on the ark? And that's one of the things we wanted to do here, is show how many animals he would have really needed to have and how they could fit on the Ark. And so we have a lot of exhibit space dedicated to that issue, showing a lot of the animals. Our team had done some tremendous sculpting, very lifelike sculpting of animals that what they would have looked like at that time. For people who enjoy hunting animals, Noah wouldn't have been doing that on the Ark, but they might be interested to know that after the flood, in Genesis 9:3, this is the first time that God gave man permission to eat meat. So hunting probably began shortly after that. So that might be something for outdoors people they might enjoy. So we get a lot of skeptics who come through here or ask questions about, you know, how could this event, the Genesis flood and the Ark, how could that really happen? So we spend time answering those skeptical questions in various exhibits throughout the Ark. So inside the Ark, we show a variety of cages from different sizes. Most of the animals would have been quite small. You know, when people wonder about how could he fit all the animals on the Ark, they're usually thinking of the really large animals. But the vast majority of animals, 85% of them in fact, would have been under 10 kilograms. So they could have fit in a lot smaller enclosures. And so we show row after row after row of those smaller enclosures. We do have some of the larger cages as well to show how the larger animals could have been taken care of. And of course, when you're talking about the largest animals, Noah doesn't have to bring them when they're fully grown. He can bring them when they're juveniles, when they're a lot smaller. They eat less, they take up less space, they have less waste, so you don't have to clean up as much. And they're more durable. They're not gonna break every time if they happen to fall over, like I would because I'm an older guy now. And they would have many more years just to reproduce after the flood. So there's a lot of reasons you bring smaller ones when you're talking about even the largest of animals that are out there.
As you enter Noah's world aboard the massive Ark, you'll tour 3 decks filled with scores of world-class exhibit bays. These stunning exhibits allow you to experience what Noah's life may have been like.
So inside the Ark, we have a model it's called the half Ark model that shows where the living spaces might have been, how they could have filled it with the various food and water, the cisterns for water, all those different things. We have calculations based on how much water and food requirements they would have needed for the people and for the animals. All of that's found through the Ark, and we also have right next to it a list of nearly 1,400 animal kinds, all the animals that would have been required on board the Ark. So when people talk about how could you fit millions of animals, he's not bringing the marine creatures. There's a big enough pond outside the Ark during the flood. So all the ocean creatures. He's not bringing insects and other things like that. He just has to take care of certain animals that were required to be on the Ark. We've got a zoo back behind the Ark, filled with a lot of, I don't know if exotic creatures is the right word, but we got some animals from all around the world and we're continually adding to that. So we're continuing to develop the site here. We've got a brand new carousel showing off some of the animal kinds that are talked about here in the Ark, and playground for children. So we're continuing to develop this site regularly.
Few wooden ships have ever come close to the size of Noah's Ark. The Ark is near the maximum size known to be possible for a wooden vessel. The life-size Noah's Ark is the largest timber frame building in the world.
So it's one thing to talk about the Ark, it's another thing to experience it and actually come here and see it in person. We're standing quite a ways away from it, so it may not look that big, but when you get up close to it, it's massive. It's something that you have to experience. We're here in northern Kentucky in the United States. If you want to find out more details, go to arkencounter.com and you can find out all the information you need. You can plan your visit here, and we'd love to see you.
Dust-proof, crush-proof, roll off a mountain strapped to a horse-proof. Let's hope nobody else has to prove that one. They're storm-proof, trail-proof, baggage handler kryptonite. They're completely submerged until you drag your dignity back out of the river-proof. In other words, you-proof. New Vault gun cases by the proven world leader in protection. Pelican, built to protect.
It was our last night in Kentucky, and I knew if I didn't get my buck tonight, I might not get a buck in velvet. But I kept my hopes high, and we went to the pop-up blind in search for that buck. We saw does coming into the alfalfa field, and a little bit after them, we started seeing some buck. This is where I really started to get excited. Mike told me that we are running out of shooting light. There's about 10 minutes left. But as I looked up, a buck was on his way.
It's a nice buck. It's really a nice buck. Okay. Hurry.
'I could feel the buck fever kicking in. The buck was standing 20 yards away from us. He was standing quartering towards us, and before I could even think of taking a shot, he had to turn broadside. I was using the brand new 375 Magnum from Magnum Archery, and the arrow combination I was using was a carbon core arrow fitted with a VPA broadhead. With that penetration that I get on my Africans game, I knew I had to be certain that there was no other buck standing behind the buck I was shooting. As soon as the buck turned broadside, I went on full draw, but when I lined up my pin onto his shoulder, a fawn walked in front of him that blocked my shot. I had to keep in full draw to make sure I didn't let down and make any noise. Right after the fawn passed the buck, a doe stepped in front of that buck. Knowing that I can trust my equipment, I still kept the full draw on that buck, and as soon as the doe turned away from that buck, I took my shot.
It's going there.
We decided to wait on recovering the buck. We needed good light to take blood in that big alfalfa field, so we headed back for the evening and to return the next morning early. So last night I took a shot on a really nice buck, but for us in South Africa it's not common to leave the animal till the next morning, but Mike will explain to you why it's here in the States it's crucial why you only wait till the next morning to recover the buck.
Yeah, so Johan is a very nice buck, and as you can see, our hide is about 100 meters behind us, and that's where we were sitting last night. There was a lot of deer right in this area, but your buck came in about 20 meters in front of the hide. There was a couple does with your buck and a fawn, and right as you were about to shoot, the one doe walked right in front, so we gave you the no-go signal, and you had to just sit there and hold it. And then when that buck, or excuse me, that doe passed, out of the picture, that was the great opportunity. Yet the fawn was right behind the doe, so there's no shot again. And then once the doe crossed in front of your buck, that's when you were going to shoot. But then the buck turned with the fawn and changed the angle, which made the shot a little far back. Would have been a fine shot had the buck not moved at the last minute, which
Yes.
they do. So we were really concerned that we just want to give it the evening. It was a cool evening last night. We don't have the predators like you have in South Africa, so the buck is going to be fine. And he ran this way from behind us to in front of us, and just now we're going to go over there and take a look in that area. He's going to lay down in tall grass or in the woods. He's not going to lay down out here. So he's going to run to the closest place, which is right over there. And there's no blood, no hair. This is really tall grass. It's super wet, very difficult to track. But we know that he's going to run from where he came, and he came from over there. So we're thinking he's in that wood line right there. So let's go get him.
Oh, man, Mike, it's for me now great to see how you guys hunt, because back home I would have seen the track in the sand and I would have had blood to follow, but here's just alfalfa everywhere.
Right. You could just look at the grass and see how wet it is, how thick it is. There's no way you're going to find a track in this grass. Plus, there were about 30 or 40 deer on this field last night, and they were moving everywhere. So to find, if you could find a track, there's no way to know if it's your deer or not. But we know what our deer do is they run the same way they came in. They'll turn around, they'll run back to that way. And he was coming from over, he came from over there to that hide. So that's where we're going to look. We're going to look, and he's not going to lay down in grass. He's going to lay down in the woods. And then as soon as he lays down, he'll expire. So I'm sure we're going to find him in that dark timber right there in the shade. Beautiful velvet buck. I mean, we're here in central Kentucky. Great velvet bucks here. Velvet bucks are super hard to kill. So I think we're going to be very excited here in just a moment.
I'm already very excited just to be here with you. So let's see if we can find that buck.
Yeah, let's go. Here we go. All right, so Johan, we got some tracks here, but we don't know if these are your deer or not. And a lot of deer have come into this bowl right here. They feel safe right here because they don't think they can be seen. They're not exposed, so they like to come in here. And you'll see some tracks, but you can tell this is still pretty thick vegetation. And what we're looking for is their trail, where they're going to go in. And we're not going to see it on the ground. We're going to see it in the grass. So you see that right there. So that's a trail going in. There's a trail right here too. This is another trail, but that's a bigger trail. So if we go in here, you can see how wide this is. I mean, this is like a highway right here. And they've come in here. They like these plants. This is what we call deer salad, this thing here. But look at this area right here.
So that's where they bed down?
This is where they bed down. So, it might be, I don't know if this is your deer, but this is where the deer have bedded down. They've bedded down over there. They're just off the edge of the field. They feel good and safe right here. Lots of nice cover, and then there's a trail this way. So, man, just walk through there. And there he is, brother. All right. Yeah.
Brother, thank you for giving me this opportunity here in Kentucky, where it's the heart of whitetail hunting in America.
This is very special. I mean, very few people get to kill a buck in velvet. I mean, very, very special opportunity. That's a very nice deer. Now we got to be very careful about his velvet. We don't want to, handle it roughly. But just take a look at him.
And my shot was a little bit back from where I initially wanted it to be, but got him down.
Yeah, but like we said, he turned at the last moment because that fawn walked in front of him and moved his attention. And you would have shot him right here, which is where you want to shoot him.
Yeah.
But when he turned more quartering to you, then it pushed the shot back.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it did the job.
Still can't believe this happened. Mike, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks again, man.
I'll try not to step on your deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really pretty. Yeah. Good velvet. Great buck. Nice buck to shoot.
Brad, thank you for this amazing opportunity. Shooting that buck in velvet is something that I will cherish forever.
Hey everybody, this is Mike with Treezyn and Huntech Pro. And we've had the privilege of Johan and Beulah Schmidt from Huntech Pro hunting with us this past week or so. And we invited them here to Georgia and then also into Kentucky to hunt velvet buck, whitetail buck in velvet. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why that's such a special thing. So right here next to me is a buck I shot a couple years ago in velvet. And I actually shot this buck in Kentucky as well. And why this is so sought after is because the bucks that are in velvet are only in velvet for just a few days, and then while hunting season is open, and then they're going to shed their velvet. And what happens is for the buck is that they're going to grow their horns, their antlers, from early spring all the way into early fall. And while they're growing them, they have this coating that is a membrane that is nutrient enriched, feeding that bone with blood and nutrients that allows it to grow. And sometimes they can grow up to 1 inch of bone every single day. As you can see on this buck right here, this is a good representative of a 8-point buck. And he was in full velvet when I shot him. And the velvet is sort of fuzzy to the touch, although you never want to touch the velvet because it's very fragile and very delicate. And once it falls off the buck, then the hormones in the buck change and the patterns in the buck change as well. So typically, you're going to be able to hunt whitetails in velvet for just a couple of days, the very beginning of bow season, and then their velvet's going to fall off. And once it falls off, they change their feeding patterns, they change their travel patterns. They oftentimes break away from their bachelor groups. So it's extremely difficult to hunt and harvest a whitetail buck just after it's lost its velvet. So it's rare because they can lose their velvet in mid-August. And bow season doesn't typically come into play in most states until September. So harvesting a whitetail buck in velvet is rare and extremely sought after. And it's a very difficult process too. So Johan was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to put a very good and ethical shot on a whitetail in velvet up in Kentucky. And was able to harvest that. Very similar to this one that I'm standing next to. So for all the hunters out there, if you ever get a chance to harvest a whitetail buck in velvet, you're very fortunate.
Join Huntech on the next episode, where they continue their hunting and adventures in the USA. To watch Huntech's episodes or to find out more about their sponsors and destinations, visit their website and follow them on their social platforms to stay up to date.